Yeah, it's Rowan on the morning show. I have Michael with me, Michael McGuigan. We're going out all over the world at the moment, Michael, on the internet. There was no internet when you were younger.
No, there was.
Yeah, it's a mighty thing nowadays.
It is.
And we have the whole map of Careve here. We have the little old stone church. We have the broken dolmen. We have the sweat house. We have the old dolmen and Mass Rock. The Mass Rock was a good thing there. What happened there now? The masses were said there.
Aye, the masses were said.
Is that because of the redcoats, was it?
Aye, the redcoats was on the go that time.
Right, tell us all about that.
And Oliver Plunkett's time and
Yeah.
that. Well, first of all, the Mass Rock, St. Patrick was the first to be at that Mass Rock. That was about the year 450.
Yeah, yeah.
And he happened to be going from Dundalk to Armagh, and he just stopped at this particular rock, and he says, on this rock I will say Mass for the pagans of Ireland. So Mass would be said now and again, very seldom like round that time. But then there would have been churches put up after. There was a church put up at Orney round the same time. And they are mostly let it go. But then there was odd times when there'd be religious trouble. You know, even in the 9th and 10th century, there'd be Mass said at the Mass Rock instead. And then, round the time of Oliver Plunkett, Mass was said there, well, nearly every Sunday. And the redcoats would be there, like watching. And then there'd be other ones on scout, and they'd see where the redcoats was, and they'd tell him to clear off.
So they got the priest away.
Aye, they did.
Lappin's Forge is there as well.
It is.
Is there much work done there these days or not?
No, it's closed now.
It's closed now.
There's a brand new house up there.
And what did Lappin's do? What would they have done at the forge?
Well, they made gates and horseshoes and all that sort of carry on. And he was a military man as well. You know, 1798, he made pikes.
Oh yeah, who dares to speak of 98, is that it?
That's right.
Or blushes of its fame. That's something like that, I think.
Is.
Yeah. So
Well,
he made the pikes.
he was caught in the finish.
Yeah.
And he was flogged to death.
Oh, at Careve.
No, just outside it at Whippen Lane in Shanroe.
And that's
the
why they
next
called
land.
it Whippen Lane, maybe.
That's right.
After him being flogged there.
And then it became a parochial house later. But now there's 2 families living in it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then you have the unconsecrated grave.
That's right.
What's that about? This is the map of Careve.
Well, up on the mountain there, children that was born dead and wasn't baptized, they were buried up on the mountain. It was called the Caldrock.
The Caldrock.
Aye. It was an unconsecrated grave.
My
And there's a
goodness.
stone near hand and it's called Conor, a man in coffin. And there's the shape of a cross on it.
Goodness gracious. It's a good community. Is it the same as it used to be? It can't be. It has to change.
I know there's a lot of strangers in now. But even though there was new people in years back, people still recognise the old names of the people that was in it. It's only during the past 20 years or so that the names is getting forgot about.
The kind of real Careve names would be what?
Well, there were mostly Macs and some O's, but then there was just ordinary names without the Mac or the O.
You had the McGuigans, certainly.
Aye.
You were there, yeah. The little old stone church, the ruin of that is still there.
Aye, it is. Well, it was from the time of the penal laws,
Yes.
and it was only just for the priest.
Well,
It was only, well, maybe twice as high as that.
yeah.
And only about that width.
Enough for him to get in.
Aye, that would keep him high and dry. There was a great big stone over
Yes.
it, you know.
Yeah.
And the congregation would be outside. And there was balconies up on the rock as well.
Yeah.
And then there'd be, like that, there'd be another man watching to see what the redcoats about.
Wow.
But then there used to be dances on it after the Mass.
Dances?
That's right. It was called Crocodile, so that bit of a rock.
Crocodile?
Aye.
Aye, the croc of the
Crocodile.
dance.
Aye, it was
The rock of the dance.
the hill of the dance.
The hill of the dance.
Aye.
Goodness gracious.
So there was matchmaking and all there.
And
And the priest used to tell them, oh, I just forget now.
yeah, but the matchmaking thing, would you have known much about the matchmaker, and what sort of things would he have been looking out for? If I came to him and said, look, I'm looking out for a woman, and I would want her to be a certain class of woman, would he give me advice, the matchmaker?
He would, and he'd go and he'd talk to some woman that was suitable.
He would make the judgment, would he?
He would, but then it would be up to themselves, like, to join up.
They would meet, he would introduce them.
Aye, he would.
And when they met, would they be left alone?
Aye, they would.
Ah, so they could get to know each other a wee bit.
Aye.
And were there many marriages that came as a result of the matchmaking?
Oh, they were mostly that way.
Mostly that way.
Aye, they were.
Up
Well,
until when? 100 years ago?
Well, up till about 70 years ago.
70 years ago, it was all matchmaking.
Nearly all
Yeah.
matchmaking.
And there wouldn't have been too many divorces.
No,
Isn't that funny?
it is.
If the match is made by the priest, there aren't too many divorces.
No, there's not.
No, no.
But a funny thing about it, there was a young fella thinking of getting married to a girl, and the girl told him to not be telling all the sins to the priest.
Yes.
And so he went to the priest and told the priest he was getting married and what the girl said. Well, he says, that's all right. He says, you and him come here and talk to me. So the two of them come and talked. And he says, now you go down the road there and make your confession to the other.
Yes.
And I'll watch and come back to me. And he let them away with that. They come back to him and he says, everything's all right. So that was a handy way. They had
That was the way they did it.
Aye.
The boy told the girl he loved her, and the girl told the boy, I love you. And then he came back to the priest and he blessed them.
That's right.
And that worked.
It did.
That worked. Well, would there ever have been, it was a small enough community, Michael, a small enough community, would there ever have been the risk of them that married being a wee bit too close in terms of relationships? It might have been
Aye, well, that
cousins
did
and
happen.
stuff.
There was even as close as second and third cousins got married.
Yeah.
And it can be a bad job in ways.
How would it be a bad job?
Well, sometimes the children can be either brilliant, you know, that they're very smart and that, and then some of them could be awful stupid.
Ah, yeah.
Some of them could even be disabled.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
there's all that in it.
There's all that to be
They do
taken
that with the
account of.
purebred horses.
Really?
They do.
So it works for the horses.
It does.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of wakelings, like. They
Ah,
only
would,
keep the
surely.
good ones.
Yeah, you just need, they were going for the good ones. But you can't do that with people.
No, you can't.
No, you can't. Yeah. The sort of food you would have eaten out there as you were growing up in those days, what was it a good feed of bacon and cabbage and buttermilk, or what would it have been?
Aye, there was. People had plenty of that. See, nearly everyone kept a cow and they keep pigs and that. And it was tastier feeding than what they have now.
I know what you
You
mean.
see, the pigs was fed on spuds that day.
Yeah, yeah. So God knows what you're getting now.
No, you wouldn't know now.
Yeah.
But then some of them used to catch rabbits. They were all right too.
Yeah, yeah.
They were nearly as good as a chicken.
Oh, they would have
But
been.
there was
Sure.
a lot of wee bones in them.
Okay, but you'd be careful with the bones.
Aye, you would.
Yeah.
And some of the people used to go and sell the rabbits.
Yeah, they would have brought them into Newry to sell as well.
Aye, they would.
Your man up on the Mr. Murphy would have bought the rabbits. in
Aye, he
Newry.
would.
They were good.
A half a crown apiece in poor times.
You would have got a rabbit for half a crown.
About 1948
Yeah.
or so. That was if you caught them.
Yeah.
That was in.
How would they have caught the rabbits?
Well, the right people had a net, and they could catch maybe 20 at once,
Oh,
and they'd be caught alive. Like.
alive, and then you wring the neck.
Aye, but
And then
then
clean them.
There was other ones had snares, but it was dangerous.
Ah, yeah.
A rabbit would go unconscious and come back again.
Not a good idea.
No, it was
Not
a bad
nice.
carry-on.
Bad carry-on.
But then if you shot them, anyone that had a gun was going around shooting them. You'd only get 2 bob for the ones that you shot.
Because of that stuff, the shot and the...
Aye, it done some harm to them, you see.
Yeah.
And all that had to come out.
Yeah, okay. Well, now, remind the people again of when your next walk is. It's Sunday week.
That's right.
And where do the people come to get on the walk?
They'll come to Careeve.
To Careeve, and they get to Careeve by what way?
Well, they have to have their own way of coming.
Okay, what's the dead directions you would give them?
Well, you can either go from Newry to Comala and out by Silver Bridge, or you can go from Newry through Clough, on by May, and through Forkhill.
Yeah. And simply ask for directions to Careeve.
Aye, you can.
You'll get in there very quickly.
Aye, you will.
Yeah. And what time will you meet them at?
12 o'clock.
12 o'clock, whereabouts?
It's below Careeve Scrapyard.
Below Careeve Scrapyard, Sunday week, 12 o'clock. Get there, meet Michael McGuigan, and you'll be taken around all the places like the places we've been talking about. They'll see Michael, they'll see the broken dolmen, they'll see the little stone church, the sweat house, the old dolmen and Mass Rock. They'll see the smallest dwelling in Ireland, for goodness sake. They'll see Lappin's Forge, they'll see, oh, for goodness sake, Shanachie Quarry, it's all there. It's there indeed. So it'll all be good. We wish you well. And thanks for coming in.
Right.
You might come to us again sometime.
I will. You can give me word.
We'll give you word. We'll get the word to you. And in the meantime, we'll just stay there with me until we say bye-bye to the people. Wherever you're watching throughout the world, and I was telling Michael, you're there viewing in Australia, you're there viewing in America, you're there in Germany and France and Canada, New Zealand too, you're all there looking on, as well as all over Ireland, of course, but there you are. So it's been good having you, Michael, thank you. And to our friends at home, we wish you well, wherever your home is on the planet. We urge you to take life easy and be good to yourself. And you know what they say? Our African friends across the river would always tell you, when you've done your best and you can do no more, don't worry about it. Just lay your head in your hand and leave the rest to God. He'll look after you. Go well, take care, be happy. Cheerio, all the best. We'll see you in the morning, God willing.